Late night TV is on the ropes, and it's because the hosts tend to be real dopes. But none is such a joke as Jimmy Kimmel. And now the Kimmelster may have gone too far indeed, taking Disney to a place they never wanted to be, even despite their insane creeds. Kimmel making jokes about the removal of someone's life. And now Disney may have had too much of the man who continues to put them in late night TV strife. Come one, come all, and heed the call to, well, find out what's going on in entertainment. Our job here is to keep you ahead of the culture curve. It lets you know where the society you live in is going before anyone else realizes it. We, of course, are where the headlines of tomorrow are made today. Folks, we ask that as we get underway, you click the like button and we'll reveal what's going to perhaps happen to Jimmy Kimmel, who has gone even too far for the House of Mouse. They have seen enough, and now they're ready to douse his show with a whole lot of red light, stop sign, cut it, kill it, get it off the stage. Jimmy Kimmel, exit, stage left. All right, folks, Jimmy Kimmel has perhaps gone so far that it could be the end of the Disney non-comic who's supposed to be funny at late night but fails every single time. This out of Hot Air by Ed Morrissey. We shall not read the title for obvious reasons. But folks, here's the article, and Jimmy has gone too far. Jimmy may actually be done at this point, and we'll tell you why. Say, wasn't this the same comedian who got reduced to tears over the prospect of a second Orange Man Bad presidential term? The same late-night host who wept over the death of a lion in 2015? Last night, Jimmy Kimmel took a decidedly more humorous turn on the subject of deletion of a certain CEO. And of course, folks, the deletion of anyone is always a tragedy. His producers absolutely adore the one who is definitely not Mario's brother. Kimmel tells a laughing audience, and why not? He's so dreamy or something. As long as you see him coming, I suppose. Kimmel went on to do a rant about this situation where a guy has been arrested and will be prosecuted for something heinous and terrible and awful. And Jimmy Kimmel decided to turn that into a laugh-along monologue. Folks, we'll play parts of it. Here's what Jimmy Kimmel said, and then we'll weigh in on whether or not this is the end of Kimmel's relationship with Disney.
So many women and so many men are going nuts over how good-looking this killer is, and there's a huge wave of horny washing over us right now. It's like when one of the guys you work with says, I had a dream about you last night. When it's the FedEx guy with the big muscles and the rolled up sleeves, you're like, oh. But if it's the bald IT guy wearing Crocs with black socks, you're on the phone with HR. It's kind of that.
So right now, Kimmel is talking about how good looking someone who did something heinous is. Someone who took the life of another. Kimmel is joking about how handsome the fellow is.
Same dynamic. Our staff today, I have never experienced anything like this. These are screen grabs of actual exchanges between our members of our staff and their friends, relatives, whatever. I've changed the names to protect the guilty, but let's see. Lorraine C. asks, do you guys think the United Healthcare CEO killer is hot? Bren replies, yes. I love Luigi. I think he's gay, though. This is an exchange between two of our producers, Elphaba and Glinda. My TikTok is flooded. My mom chain's going nuts. That's my TikTok. Everyone is obsessed. People are saying a New York jury has the power to find him innocent because we all love him. I'm not mad.
Let's just stop there for a minute. Good Lord. Someone took another person's life, and Kimmel is on Disney's late night network making jokes about his producers loving the person who did the heinous act. We'll start with Michelle, and I just want to know, panel, is this too far? We'll start there, and then we'll talk about what the ramifications of it might be if it is far too far. Michelle, what do you think?
Okay, as much as I am for letting comedians be as crass and stuff as they are, I do think that is too far. That is absolutely, in my opinion, too far. I mean, it's not even been a week. And this is a guy, again, the guy who's now dead. Jimmy Kimmel is googly eyes over the killer. And again, this family is having to cope with the loss of maybe a father, husband, son, whatever it is. And you're laughing and like you're pretty much just admiring a young man who murdered someone and basically has ruined his life because he's been, I mean, I know we have a bad healthcare system, but really, like, still, what he did, this is absolutely too far. Like, Jimmy Kimmel has made so many disgusting remarks over the course of the last several years, but this probably takes the cake of, like, it really is too far.
So one of the things that we've heard is that CEOs around the country are increasing their security details because they're afraid. And I think that partially what adds to the fear and the incivility and the illegal, the lawlessness that's being promoted here, people like Jimmy Kimmel making light of this. Whatever you think of healthcare, whatever you think of how much CEOs get paid, turning this into something where they are, I don't know what the correct word here is, where they are shining a light in some way on what is happening
let's
here.
put it this way, Pro. They are trying to make these people so non-human, so evil that we can laugh about someone killing that person.
But they did that when Trump was shot. They did that when Trump was shot.
Yeah, no, they absolutely did. But now you're continuing it down with now CEOs. Who's next? Teachers? Like, who is next after this?
And as far as Kimmel is concerned, look, this guy goes on every night, and he has a choice of literally anything to make fun of, any issue, any statement. There's a fertile field of comedic material out there in the world every day, and this is what they choose.
Yes.
I mean, it's a choice.
So
it's a choice. Plus, notice all of these things are talking about how he's good looking or something. None of them talking about, well, he's a champion of the proletariat because he killed an evil CEO. This is pretty sick. And if they think it's winning them any points, decent people are once again going to say, all right, that's the dividing line between them and me. And I'm not voting for their people, and I'm not dealing with them, and I'm not sending them any money, period.
So, Lou, you have worked at some of the highest levels of Hollywood, and you, I'm sure, have advised people on a number of projects and shows and sitcoms and all of that. Seeing what's going on with Kimmel and knowing that contract runs out in the not-so-distant future, what's your advice to Disney on how to handle this man at the same time that they, from everything we've heard, they're either trying or being forced to moderate?
Well, look at the continual mash notes from the lawyers to Sonny Hostin on The View. When you read that joke about face earlier, I was thinking exactly that. Now we're being real-timed. Look at this. Eat seeds.
Right, I'm going to go back to it. That's awful.
Oh God. Anyway,
this is on Luigi's channel. This is. I had not seen this before. I had not. I watched 75% of the clip. This is crazy.
And here's the question: if instead of a health company CEO, he had killed the CEO of a nonprofit woke outfit, would the same thing happen? I don't think so.
No, it would not, because the wrong person.
Disney allows that on their network. Go ahead, Lorena.
Yeah, I was going to say, in this case, that it's the right person for them to activate against. It has become perfectly acceptable to too many people in our society that, if it's some rich guy, they deserve to get yeeted.
Look at this. This is on Disney's assets. This is a Disney show. This is Walt Disney. This is an affront to everything that Walt stood for. And so I just got to say, and panel, anybody else who wants to weigh in on this, Disney has to end this. This is unacceptable. Yeah. This goes beyond
every decent person in this country who has ever been affected by violence of this kind, whether murder or assault, should, start a petition saying no more Disney just over this. That's how bad it is.
Look, at the end of the day, if somebody I still think the joke went too far, but if somebody like Gilbert Gottfried or Dave Chappelle had made the joke, I might have been more forgiving about it in terms of letting comedians be comedians. But this guy is the king of wagging his finger at the entire country and weeping uncontrollably over the slightest thing on TV. And now he's showing you who he is. Co-host of The Man Show. Guy who used to have chicks jumping on trampolines at the end of every single thing. Now wants to lecture you about women's rights. Him and
doing blackface over and over.
His ex-girlfriend, Sarah Silverman. and painting her face in ways that are not acceptable, and dropping, certain letters of the alphabet in full words that you're not supposed to do. They are allowed to now exist within this woke culture because they know the right people, and they're showing you who they are right here. Don't fall for it. Don't let them continue to do this.
And one more thing. He's doing this in front of a live audience, which could have en masse stood up, booed him, and walked out of the theater. But they know who their audience is. They know who their audience is.
Well, and I was just about to say that, Lou. They know exactly who their audience is, and I think they were looking at them exclusively when actually preparing the segment right here. And that's kind of the difference. I would say the contradiction between maybe Jimmy Kimmel and maybe where the even perhaps the majority of the country might lie right now. We just heard recently, I think Taylor Lorenz talk about how it was joyful that this CEO was murdered in this way. We need
to go easy on Taylor Lorenz. She might have had some of her Medicare payments denied.
Well, and I just want to say too,
ARP.
It does illustrate where these guys are. Go ahead.
Marvin had mentioned like a Dave Chappelle. That's a great example. Dave Chappelle will go anywhere as far in a funny way. I have never heard him come anywhere to touching something like this. Like he might have an OJ joke, 30 years later, but not like that was just disgusting. Like that's just like he's basically kind of worshiping a guy who killed somebody.
Hero worship. That's what that is. Hero worship.
And that's the difference to go to tag on to what Michelle was saying. When you come for Dave Chappelle, the angle that he would have come from is clowning who the shooter is. It's like you get this overprivileged Ivy League dude who gets busted in a McDonald's of all places. That would have been his focus.
I mean, I've seen some funny memes. There was one.
If it was some dude like off the street, nobody would freaking care.
There've been memes of like Burger King and other chains saying, "We won't turn you in." That's kind of funny if comparison in the competition. But murder,
right?
Murder?
Yeah. So the thing you look at too is. So there's going to be the question of, well, you guys often say that you're in favor of free discourse and free speech. And so let free speech be what it is. And my response to that is that, yes, we are in favor of free speech. But this corporation that is Disney is trying to fix their image and get back to a centrist spot. Right. And when you have somebody who is creating a hero worship scenario and only lightly making it about being humorous, but when it's a hero worship situation on your network, and it's happening before the other family where this person has been killed even has time to have a funeral, that is in such bad taste that it should scare away advertisers. And at that point, you're not talking about necessarily about the arguments for free speech. Nobody is saying that Kimmel can't do this on a street corner or a shady nightclub. What we're saying is that if you're going to do this on Disney's network, Disney has to deal with the ramifications of it, just like with everything else out there. And for Disney, this is a terrible business decision to allow this to continue on. The longer it does, the more it's going to hurt Disney.
Wasn't this the company that was going to turn down the volume?
Yeah, they're not going to.
And it's the hypocrisy element of it too. It's you want to wag your finger and you want to shame everybody in the country, and then you're going out and you're doing this. It's exposing hypocrisy, which is one of the things that we do here.
Well, by the way, also you have freedom of speech, but you do not have freedom from consequences. So if the consequence is advertisers pull out, people stop watching, guess what? Maybe you shouldn't have done that, right?
And by the way, he's calling out his producers. Doesn't this make a simple, logical person say, well, these are the people that produce this show and therefore are involved with it every day with its content, and they're good with this, and he's making it a laugh that they're good with it. How many other issues are shaded on this show? How many other issues that I would find personally reprehensible are represented to the negative by this show? And in other words, it's not just this, which is awful. It's the entire show and the entire company behind it.
Indeed, and well said. It is such fun getting to spend time together, folks, but we have come to the end of yet another video. Well, that makes the mainstream scratch their heads, pull their hair out, and wonder, how is it we continue to do what we do? But you know what we do this for? It's for you. to keep bringing all the knowledge of entertainment, explaining what's going on in Hollyweird each and every day. And you can help us continue on that way by clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. Share this out on your favorite social media platforms, and we would love to have you drop a comment right on down below. Share your thoughts because, well, your thoughts truly do matter, and we mean it. As we get ready to say goodbye, we end with the common refrain. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.